Good afternoon and welcome back, guys. So I had a super busy day. I am all over the place, so I apologize in advance. So first things first, thank you guys so much. I do appreciate all the support, all the comments. I do have to cut off the giveaway probably, well, this is going up soon. It's not going to be up long. Probably when you guys are watching this, that'll be a full day. Maybe a little bit after that is where I'm going to cut it off. I think we're already up to like 400 comments at this point after I just posted yesterday's video today. This whole back and forth thing is very confusing. So if you watched, actually though, I'm gonna get to this point, that point. All right, so I'm all over the place. I'm kind of rushed. If you guys have watched for a little while, you know that I have a drone. I like to incorporate that into this videos, vlogs, whatever you want to call them. I have my commercials pilots test for the drone. Yes, it's such a thing. These drone laws are getting kind of crazy. And basically, I don't need it, but I want it. And it's a rather intensive test, and I have to study for it. And that's this Thursday. And I really need to spend some time really going over that stuff because it's like a couple steps down from like a real pilot's friggin' test. So I need to do this video. Hopefully things goes well. This is either gonna go very well or not very well. We're gonna be installing at least one of the wheel bearings on Andrew's truck. So if you've ever changed one of these things, it's not that hard of a process. I'm gonna go over it step by step, but when it comes to actually getting it removed off the truck, it can either be loose or seized. And if it's seized, like I said, it's not gonna go very well. I think that's all I have for updates at this point. Throughout the day, I'm like thinking of things like, all right, I need to mention this, mention that, and then by the time it comes to this point, I forget half of them, so I might remember some while we're doing this. But again, thank you guys. Again, the support and liking the videos really helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate everybody tuning in. All right, so enough of me rambling. As usual, let's get to this install. All right, so Andrew's truck is currently parked right in front of my trailer, which at some point in this video, I can guarantee you I'm gonna try and stand up and back up into this thing and almost kill myself. But I spared you guys me taking off the wheel and tire, so jack it up, take the wheel and tire off. Obviously, this is where we're starting from right now. And I'm going to give you the first couple steps if you've never done this before. The wheel bearing is obviously right behind here, so we need to take off the brake caliper and, you know, the main bracket and the rotor, and then from there, we'll go from there. Obviously, this is the wheel bearing harness line for your ABS. It actually is this clip right here. So if you just pull this, there's the plug, and you can see the wire kind of comes down and kind of comes right here. So we're going to be undoing that eventually, but at some point that's where that's at. Let's get to taking this off. Update number one. Somebody put these bolts in way too tight. This might not be a good sign. Caliper and the bracket are off. I have it resting right here, so it's got a little bit of slack right here. You definitely don't want this thing hanging because this is quite a heavy caliper and you have a chance of messing up the line and stuff like that. So definitely make sure you have that propped up. Like I mentioned before, the ABS wire for the wheel bearing I have disconnected. What we have to do next is remove this rotor, and then I'll show you guys. But basically there's two bolts, basically just like this, on the other side of this axle joint that hold the wheel bearing in. Oh, she's rusty, boys. And don't mind the rust. The truck has been sitting, so it's rusty on the surface and stuff because it's been sitting. Alrighty guys, I totally messed up. I thought that I had this socket, but I didn't. I had to go get one, which now we are further behind. This is a 1.11/16 socket, which I bet most of you probably do not have. I didn't have one, I thought I did. It's kind of a very odd size, 1.11/16. While I was there, while I was driving, which I guess I shouldn't be telling you this, but I was, I looked up, this is 263 foot-pounds torque spec. It actually says to do, I believe, like 100-something, rotate it a couple times, then do 263. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to undo this nut, and then, like I said, there's 4 on the back, and then hopefully this thing does not fight us coming off. What usually helps getting the other side is actually turning the key on and rotating it so it's this way, so you can get the other side. Obviously this side, it's easier to get when it's more towards that way. Andrew's truck doesn't run right now, so it's a little harder turning the wheel. Alrighty guys, that's it. All the bolts are out. Alrighty guys, moment of truth. I see movement. We're actually gonna move the wheels straight. It kind of looks straight right now, but we're gonna move it straight so I got a better shot on it. There you go. So now what we're gonna do is just take some, not sandpaper. I'm losing my mind right now. We wanna clean up this surface. Especially important when you're whacking it. Get this out. You don't wanna, where'd this go? Like this, right? No, other way, like this. You don't want to mess up the backing plate. This one's a little rusty, you can see, but when you're hitting it this way, you don't want to really mess this up, because once you bend these up, man, you never get them back. So you got to be careful a little bit. I should mention too, I think Snap-on makes a tool that you can actually, if you have a very stubborn bearing that you're hitting it, won't come out. I believe you leave a bolt in the back, and then if your truck runs, which it would be nice if it did, you can leave these partially in, and the socket is specifically meant to fit on the back, almost like a socket. And then you turn the wheel left and right, and you keep moving this from the left to the right, and then from moving the knuckle left and right, it uses your power steering and backs up against parts on your frame to bust that out. So if you've done this before and these are like frozen in here, that tool is especially well worth its money. Alright, so I just use a little bit of anti-seize just in this area right here. Not a whole lot. If you've ever done these before, sometimes getting, especially if you're not using OEM parts, which are a complete rip-off. You go to like Napa Advanced, O'Reilly's, whatever's by you, and you get like new top-of-the-line stuff. These ABS sensors in these aftermarket ones are actually kind of finicky. So, I'd love to say that there's a 100% chance that you won't ever have to pull these out again, but I don't like to take the chance, and doing this just ensures the next time you do not have to really fight with these things coming out. So the plug, like this, has to go there like this, so that way when you put it in, the sensor can be protected by so you got to do that ahead of time, and then you can hold all this stuff up without struggling here. Okay, everything's lined up, push back in. We can take our bolts, put them back in, clean them up. Always do them hand tight first. Right now we're just tightening up the caliper bracket bolts. We are well on our way to being done. Guys, let me just check in with you real quick. Rotor, brake caliper, everything's back, tightened up, wheel bearing's good. This, for right now, is not torque to spec. That's what we're going to be doing here soon. But I was actually just working on routing the ABS wire right here, and I got it pushed in up here, clipped in up here, started routing it where the clips are. Sorry, I'm not even looking at the camera while I'm talking. Got to here and noticed this. And I didn't even notice it in the beginning, but this bracket is actually on the wrong side. And I actually thought that it was just me, but I have two other trucks here to check, and this bracket is actually supposed to be on this side because this is right here. And I believe that this, whoever put the ball joints in, just put that in wrong. All right, guys, so after looking everything over again and checking on my other truck, this bracket was definitely on the wrong side. It was over here. So whoever did the ball joints, they weren't done all that recently ago. So before we got the truck, the guy before us must have put the ball joints in and put this bracket on the wrong side. You can kind of see, hopefully, there's your backing plate, and then you can see you definitely want it behind here. That's what protects that from the back side of this rotor. Sorry for the shitty quality there, but that's protected now. This is in the right spot. Everything is hooked up where it's supposed to be there, pushed in here, clipped in there. Everything is tight like I mentioned before, so all I got to do is basically torque this down and then put the cotter key back in, and that is about it, guys. All right, let go. Stay in there for a second. The wife is on brake duty. Alrighty, guys, there she is. There is one side completely done, just so you can get an idea of how it will all look all black. I am currently stepping in the snow, getting my feet completely soaking wet. I should have mentioned before, but I'll just throw it here at the end. I still get a couple questions about the control arms pushing the front axle forward just a little bit to clear these tires. They're from Top Gun Customs, nothing special. At the time when I was doing some research, I actually think that Top Gun Customs are like rebranded other companies that are maybe a little bit beefier. They're rebuildable joints. I mean, they're not like crazy expensive like Carly's, but they get the job done and are not a bad product at all. Alrighty, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I apologize if it was thrown together and kind of like rushed a little bit. Like I said, I got to get inside, I got to eat, shower. I still got to edit this video and study for the test coming up. Cummins passing by. So that's going to do it for it. Thank you guys so much for the support. It really does motivate me to keep going. Thanks again. I will see you maybe tomorrow, maybe not. See ya.